Hello there.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Kayla.
And we just want to talk movies.
But we're not talking about a movie. Well, we're talking about a movie today, probably at the end, because Wicked just came out. For two. Wicked for two.
I'll take Wicked for two.
Our main topic of conversation is Stranger Things. Today, we're coming to an end of an era, folks. It is currently November 23rd. By the time this episode reaches your ears, Volume 1 of Season 5 of Stranger Things will have already come out. It's the final season. How am I doing? I can't say. I can't say yet. I'm very excited. I'm mostly in the happy, elated phase. It's all been leading to this, folks. Our entire podcast really has been leading to this. But today we're only going to be focused on Season 1 and Season 2, giving our thoughts, sharing our feels, just looking back on the times and tribulations, whatever you call it. Just looking back.
Yeah, we're really tired.
I am really tired, and I'm also overwhelmed because I never got an complete episode to talk about Stranger Things. It's one of my favorite things. So, shall we jump right in after news?
I don't have any news, I believe.
All right.
That I recall.
I have Stranger Things news.
Oh my god.
Shall we do this thing? This morning, as of November 23rd, we got a trailer, like a final trailer for Volume 1. And it's basically a lot of the same stuff we've seen in the other trailers. And it wasn't like as long and epic as those ones. But it's one of those things to get you excited. So they showed a lot more of the characters talking. It sounds like they're setting up for some kind of plan. The moment that stands out to me is it's Steve, Dustin, Nancy, and Jonathan in a car, and they're like driving full speed ahead towards a gate that's closing, and they're like a portal, not just a gate, an upside down gate.
Oh, I was picturing a gate.
I was like, I should clarify. But they're like, it's not going to work because it's closing. And Steve's like, it's going to work. So that was really fun. I'm excited to see that scene. It just looks like a lot of action. I'm surprised because all of the trailers, I think most of it has been from Volume 1. But I've been kind of confused because I'm like, 1, it looks like a lot is happening. And 2, they've only changed outfits like twice. So I'm like, how much happens in one night? Probably a lot. So I'm not ready, but I feel like they're still holding back a lot, which is something I've loved about the Season 5 press cycle, is that they are not showing us a lot. And also, I've just been having a grand time because I haven't been super involved like online about it. For Season 4, I was looking at all the leaks. I knew everything that was going to happen that season by the time it came out, so nothing was a surprise to me. And I was like, I don't like that. I mean, I had a fun time watching it because I didn't know exactly how everything would play out, but I was like, I want to go into the last season not knowing what the heck's going to happen. And that is where I'm at. So I'm very excited. And that's all for my news. It doesn't even sound like the theme. Does anyone know that I'm doing the theme song?
No.
Or do they think I'm just making weird noises? Shall we dive right in?
Shall we dive?
Shall we dive? Shall we die? We might die.
No. We can't die yet. The finale hasn't come out.
So, have you seen that video where the girl is like talking about how she got in a car accident? She was like, why was my first thought that I haven't listened to the new Taylor Swift album yet? Like, that's me with Stranger Things.
That's how I remember before Rise of Skywalker came out, and we had to wait like 2 years. And I'm like, oh my god, what if something happens? Like, 2 years is a long time. What if something happens to me and I die and I will never see it? I was very stressed.
And the wait for Season 5 has been like over 3 years. So you can only imagine the state I'm in.
Yeah.
So yes. But going back, let's go back to Indiana circa 1983.
How long ago was that?
Let's wind the clocks back 42 years.
Yes.
season 1 of Stranger Things came out on July 15th of 2016. This was quite a while ago, if you think about it, and only 5 seasons have come out. I won't be harping on it too much, because we hear too much of that crap online. Listen, to give a preface, Stranger Things is my favorite thing ever, but I am open to criticism, more than I was a few years ago when I was a teenager. And whenever anyone said anything bad about it, I was like, you don't know. No, there's lots of things to be criticized. I will say, season 1, no. I won't stand for slander against season 1.
We're currently not accepting criticism.
No. I'm not there yet. So, yes. Anyway, that's just to preface everything. I love it all the time, and I do make a lot of excuses for it. But, you know, there's things. There's criticisms to be had, and we'll talk about them. But anyway, season 1 is my favorite season. It came out in July of 2016. Basically, the conception of it was two brothers, the brothers Duff, if you will, Matt and Ross Duffer. They were kind of they were definitely at the beginning of their career. They had done a couple things. Do you remember what was it called with the show with Matt Dillon, where he goes into that town? I keep wanting to say Mystic Falls.
Mystic Falls. It's something like
Mystic
that. God
something.
Damn it.
But yeah, they directed a couple episodes of that TV show. I think that TV show was kind of a flop, though. I liked it.
Yeah. I think it did get a second season, though.
Which we did not watch.
No, because Matt Dillon wasn't in it.
That's right. Yeah, he dies at the end.
I was like, well, what the
They had one feature film, which also I think flopped at the box office. So it was kind of like anyone who was gonna pick up this show was kind of taking their chances because they were kind of unknowns. But they grew up watching all the 80s films, the horror, the adventure, the comedy, and they really wanted to make something that kind of took inspiration from all of that. And they also, like, as far as the TV show idea goes, they saw the movie Prisoners and walked out of the theater and were like, we have to make a show about a kid who disappears. And so that's where it all came from. Just an interesting factoid. Mike Wheeler was actually their first character that they fully were like came up with a character, like a fully realized character for. And there was this really sweet interview where someone asked them, like, who was the character that was hardest to say goodbye to when you were writing season 5? And they said it was Mike, because he kind of represents what they were like as kids, and he was the first one that they made up. And I thought that was really sweet. But yeah, they kind of shopped this idea around, this idea of a kidnapped kid and then weird supernatural happenings, and with a group of kids, sort of an E.T. vibe. They shopped that around, and Netflix was the only one who picked it up, because Netflix was also an unknown. They had, what's that show? Orange is the New Black was kind of their only thing. And somehow Sean Levy got involved, and he was a big, like, we need to make this show. He kind of helped them make it happen. And yeah, it really changed everything once it came out. Netflix got huge, and then streaming got huge, and then 8-part bingeable shows got huge. So, like, they really kind of changed the landscape of TV. For better or for worse, I don't know. I think for better for a while. Now people are kind of sick of it, but it was a fun time. I feel like we had, like, a golden age of television, and it was kind of started by Stranger Things. I'm going to put that out there.
People don't want to admit it anymore.
I honestly can't remember if it was 2016 or 2017 when I first found this show, but I heard it. I heard rumblings of it, of course. Everyone was obsessed. I kept seeing that image of Elle in the pink dress with the nose running down her blood, with the blood running down her nose. And I was like, what is this? And then one night I was like, well, may as well try a new TV show. And I looked it up, and the poster looked exactly like The Force Awakens. And I was like, ooh, this looks like The Force Awakens. Why? And then I had no clue what it was about. So I clicked on it, and I had the ride of my life. I started it in the evening, and I watched the entire thing that night. And I think it ended at like 5 a.m.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I knew that my life had been changed forever. I was like, this is going to be an issue for me. And it was, and it's been for like how many years since 2017? 8 years since.
It's a condition.
It's a terminal condition, and I don't know what I'm gonna do once it's over. I think the thing that I latched onto was the kids for sure, because I was exactly their age, and have been their age as like I've grown up with them. I think a lot of people have been saying that. It's like crazy to look back on and be like, whoa. I was a little kid as well. And then you look back and you're like, oh, they were so little. I was too. So that definitely made me fall in love with it. I remember being a super huge fan of Dustin. Dustin, I think, was my favorite character. He's still probably in my top 3. And then just the fact that it all circled around a mom who, like, was looking for her son and obviously loves her son so much. And no one believes her. Like, that whole plotline was just so powerful, and I feel like it gets more powerful as you get older. Jim Hopper, another great standout character. Just, you know, the typical lazy, begrudging cop, grumbly cop, whatever that means. But then, no. I think this is something that everyone has said Stranger Things is really good at. They're good at, like, giving you an archetype and then being like, but you don't really know. And then they show you all this stuff and you're like, oh my God, they're this really complex character. And that's why they're like this and all of that. And I think Jim was the first one that they did that with. And he's probably in my top 3 as well. I feel like right now it's Dustin, Hopper, and Mike are my top 3. Many people would not say Mike. I know that's an unpopular opinion, and I'll get into that. I will be defending him today.
Also, disclaimer, we are not here to talk about the David Harbour controversy today.
No, it's not about that. We're talking about the show and the fun times. And
the elephant in the room we have to address.
Yeah.
But
we're not talking about behind-the-scenes drama, necessarily. There's enough of that online as well. But yeah, and then of course the supernatural element. I feel like they took a lot of stuff from other things. Like, I feel like this first season especially is like a remake of E.T. almost. Especially with the, like, Mike and Eleven dynamic, where she's like almost from another world, and then he takes her under his wing, and there's a cute relationship there, and all the friends. But I feel like it was also at the time when I watched it, I was like, I've never seen anything like this before. And there have been things like it, but I feel like the lore of the Upside Down was so original. And of course, in season 1, it's all a mystery, which is why I think it's my favorite. You have no clue what's going on the whole time, and you can't stop watching. I couldn't stop watching because I was like, I need to find out what is this weird lab? What are they doing? What is this weird monster? What is this big hole he's coming out of? And you don't know anything. And the few glimpses we get, like Nancy crawling through the tree, and then she's in there, you're like, whoa, you get like only a couple glimpses of what the Upside Down is. And then at the end, they answer some questions, but not all of them. And you're like, oh boy, I need more of this. It's a drug. I'm hooked. And the whole thing with 11 disappearing, I needed to know. But yeah, like I said, the charm for me is in the kids. I feel like they instantly, as like that first scene in the basement, I was like, oh yeah, like, this is how kids talk. Even in the 80s, even though it was set in the 80s, like, this is how kids talk today. I felt like it wasn't made by someone who was, like, trying to be cool with the kids. It was someone who was a kid once and looked at kids today and had the empathy and artistic thought to actually write them realistically. And, of course, the kids being actual kids helps a lot. I feel like each of the actors was so good and so charming, and they made the characters their own, and I feel like they've been saying a lot in interviews that the creators of the show kind of like would meet with them each time they would start a season and just like see where they were in their lives and let that inform their characters, which I think was a really clever choice to make it as realistic as possible. And I feel like they've really held that throughout all seasons. Yeah, anyway, Emily, would you like to jump in with some thoughts?
Oh, yes, well, I also heard, I mean, when this came out, it's all you heard about anywhere. Everyone's talking about it. And I'm not a TV person, so I didn't really give it much thought. I was like, oh, it's the new show.
I wasn't either. I think this show, like, hooked me to television shows. Because I think I thought all TV shows were, like the cable, like I was a CW girly. And so I was like, I guess that's all TV shows are. It's like
The soap opera.
yeah, soap opera, and then like they're really long. It's not like a narrative. Like this was the first show that I'd seen that was just like a really long movie, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's why it worked so well for me. I obviously am a huge horror fan and was since I was like 14. So when I heard this was coming out, when I was hearing about it, I'm like, I don't know, because I wasn't into like the new horror that was coming out at the time, because, you know, I thought it was edgy. It's like, I only like the older stuff.
Well, this was very informed by the older stuff.
Yeah. And then Kayla starts talking about it, and she's like, it was so scary. I thought that the thing was going to come through my wall, the Demogorgon.
So the other thing was I sleep right next, like my bed is pressed against a wall, and there's a tree right outside our house, and in the winter, especially when it's windy, the tree would scrape against the wall outside, and I could hear it really loudly, and every time it would happen, I didn't realize this was the thing yet, because I was stupid and 12 years old. I was like, what is that? So I thought a monster was going to come through, especially, I think it was episode 7 or episode 8, I was watching it with my back to the wall, and I was like, nah, I gotta turn around.
Yeah, so she starts talking about it, you know, all the time. And I'm just like, what is this show she keeps talking about? Because, I mean, you weren't really big into horror yet, that I remember. And so I was kind of confused. I'm like, it sounds like something I would like, but why would she like something like this? I thought she wasn't really into that. And then, you know, she starts watching clips around me. She starts watching the...
Oh, yeah, because I was making, like, little edits.
Yeah.
See, I was really in the fan... This was the first time that I was really involved in a fandom, too.
Yeah. And so I saw bits and pieces of it. I'm like, you know, it looks like it might actually be kind of interesting. And so then I myself start looking into some clips as well. I'm like, actually, this looks like something I would like. And soon enough, I was kind of like, it was almost not quite to this degree, but almost like what happened with Heartstopper, where I was like an expert before I even watched the show. Like, I knew all the character names. I knew what was going on. I was like, oh yeah, I feel like I've kind of watched it already.
Yeah.
And even when I watched it for the first time, I was like, everything was so familiar. I'm like, okay, this is this part. And but still, like, obviously I didn't know all the twists and turns. So I was like, wait, but how could that happen? Because I know this happens later on. So what the heck? And
Oh, yeah, because the end of episode 3.
Yes. I was like, what?
So the first time I
yeah.
watched it with Emily was on Christmas night, right? Or was it the day? So was it you who got me the DVD? Yeah, I was like raving about that they came out with a DVD box set. So of course Emily got it for me for Christmas. I was about to say for Halloween. That's insane. And then I was like, okay, well, that means we have to watch it tonight. And so we did. And I think we watched 4 episodes. We started in the evening. And I was only going to watch, I think, 1 or 2. And then my
whole family,
parents ended up being there. And they were like, we have to watch more.
Yeah. It's not one of those shows where...
You can't stop. Like, for our rewatch for the new season that's coming out, I've been forcing myself to watch only 2 episodes a day. And
it's pretty painful.
It's really rough. It's
Last
bad.
night was painful.
Last night. Yes.
I was like,
yes.
oh, come
on. So yeah.
That sounded really weird.
But yeah, I got the whole family hooked. And I feel like season 1 especially, the vibes just draw you in right away. I mean, from the first moment when it's just the scientist running down the hallway, it has a distinct visual identity. You know that there's creepy lab stuff, there's this 80s vibe, and the sound draws you in. You hear the sound of the Demogorgon, the sound of the alarm, the sound of his feet and the elevator. Like, you're instantly drawn in. And then you get into the kids in the basement, and it's so cozy. I feel like season 1 and 2 are definitely the coziest.
They're very
seasons.
cozy.
I feel like season 2 is the coziest, but season 1 is it's just so cozy because of how innocent everything is. Like, no one knows what's happening yet, and all of the all of the 80s vibes, they're less pronounced in this one. It's more like understated, so it just feels like nostalgia instead of like it feels like the 80s, which it does. It's mostly like this feels like your childhood.
Feels like I'm watching E.T.
Exactly. And I feel like that was definitely their intention. Even the music too. Oh, the music in this show is so good.
The opening credits, which everyone, even people who don't like the show, are like, that's a really good opening.
Like a beautiful way to take, like, it's a classic, looks like it could be on the DVD of an 80s movie, but they do like the animation through the letters. That's very a modern thing. So it's just beautiful how they married everything. And then you have, of course, you have the different groups. You have the kids, which is very E.T. Goonies, and it draws in the younger audience. You have the teens, which is very Nightmare on Elm Street Halloween. It draws in the teens. You have the adults, which is like a lot of the more heavy emotional overtones come from Joyce and Hopper's arcs, and that brings in more mature audiences. It's just beautiful. There's something for everyone, but also it's not one of those shows that's like trying to pander to everyone so much it doesn't know who it is.
Yeah.
It knows very much who it is.
It's totally
right from the get-go.
Consistent.
Yes.
Which is good.
Oh, and also let's not forget to talk about the iconicness of it. That is something that you need in order to cement yourself in pop culture. You can't just be a horror thing. You can't just be a little horror story. You gotta have iconic you can't just be a horror. You gotta have iconic moments to cement you in the horror space. And boy, do we have plenty of those. The first time... Okay. I remember viscerally a couple of horror moments. Definitely the moment when Will is talking to Joyce through the lights, through the alphabet wall, and she says like, "What do I do? How do I find you? What do I do?" And he spells out "run," and then the lights start flickering, and then the monster comes through the wall. I will never forget that, boys. I will never forget it. I was scared, and now looking back, the effects are a little bit dated, so it's not quite as scary. But I feel like just the ramp up to that moment, and just the fact that again you have no idea what's going on. You're like, what? So it's a great, great moment. And the Christmas lights in general, everyone was talking about the Christmas lights. Everyone was talking about Elle in her dress and her wig. Everyone was talking about the nosebleeds. Everyone was talking about the Eggos.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about just like the vibes of the kids on the bikes.
And those are things that like you show someone, like someone does the 11 face. You know,
everyone knows who it is, even if they haven't seen it.
And they like... You're like, okay, what about the Eggos and the Christmas lights? And even people who know nothing about it are like, oh yeah, that's that show. Mm-hmm. Which is, I feel like hardly anything that comes out nowadays does that.
And it's all original. It's not something that they took from something else. A lot of stuff informed it, but like I said, they have these moments that are their own. Mm-hmm. And that is what made it an iconic pop culture piece, and is why it is a 10 out of 10 show. For me, season 1 has no flaws.
Ever.
No flaws. I won't be hearing it. Just especially because I think also in terms of like how they built the story up, each episode definitely builds on itself. You're ramping up, building the mystery, and then you're watching characters come together in these groups, and you're watching the early groups being cemented with the kids, and then Nancy and Jonathan, and of course Steve coming in at the end. Like the nail bat, we forgot to mention the nail bat, another iconic thing.
Well, that's
they did take that from Walking Dead.
A lot of things use that, but this is definitely like it puts its place in there as well.
Yeah,
like, you think of a group of things when you think of the nail bat, and this is definitely one of them. So that's nice. Yes. I mean, even Art the Clown uses one.
That's true. Like I was saying, like I like how, because the cast is a little bit smaller, it was really easy for them to weave their separate stories and have the groups be cemented, but also when they come together at the end, it just all weaves together perfectly, and they do that really well. And all the seasons, some seasons less successful than others, but this one I think is the most successful. Also season 2. Just because of how like small and manageable the cast was.
Yeah.
But also going back and watching this season after having all these other seasons come after it, it's really cool to watch, especially the dynamic between the Byers family and then Hopper and Elle. Like, they were instantly kind of a family from season 1, and it's like only inevitable that they become an actual family later. You're just waiting until they're all together and not separated. So that's something I really like watching. And also, of course, Steve, you see the beginning of his arc. He sort of redeems himself at the end, but he's gotta go through another journey before he can become the Steve we know and love today.
A lot of journeys.
Yes,
many
deaths.
Yes, many resurrections.
Yes, and yeah, then they leave you with an ending that everything seems wrapped up. They've killed the Demogorgon. Have they closed the gate? Well, no. Is Elle dead? Who knows? Is everyone safe for now? Maybe. It leaves you with just enough that you're like...
You sounded like Elijah Wood when he's answering the...
Maybe! I think I was accidentally emanating Elijah Wood there.
Maybe!
But yeah, it leaves you with just enough questions where you're like, if they left this as it was, it would be really cool because you're always going to wonder about a couple things. But
what was Will throwing up in the sink?
Yeah, but you're like, I also need to know more. And they definitely gave us more. I guess we'll jump into this now. How do you feel about the people who say it should have ended at 1 and they should have done either no more or an anthology series? Because that was I don't like saying it was the original plan, because it wasn't. They just thought, if we continue this, we'll probably do another story set in Hawkins but not following these characters. But of course, as soon as it ended and the fan reaction was huge, they had an idea for where it would go after. So I don't like when people are like, oh, they really wanted to do this, but it was just because Netflix made them. No. I guess you know how I feel about it. I think it's stupid.
Can I just remind everyone of a little movie called Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, where people tried to do that? And what did people react with? They didn't really like that too much. You know why? Because you set up all the story and a character that people love and want to see. And then you're like, all right, here's the same name. We're leading you to believe that this is a continuation, except we're going with a completely different story. I love Season of the Witch, by the way. That's not dragging on that at all. But
is it as iconic? No. Would anyone have seen it if it didn't have Halloween in the name? Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll never know.
They sabotaged themselves. We'll never know how successful it could have been because they marketed it as Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
Halloween 3? You made 2 movies already with Michael Myers, so obviously the third one's going to have something to do with him. They just called it Halloween Season of the Witch. Maybe. Maybe. You should have just called it Season of the Witch is what I'm saying. Yeah. What I'm saying is, if you came out with Stranger Things Season 2, nothing to do with anything you liked in the first season, everyone would have been pissed.
Yes.
All of you who are complaining right now would have been pissed.
Yes.
Don't try to lie about that.
Also, can I ask you, what made the season successful? The freaking characters. If they dropped all of the characters, no, you guys wouldn't have kept watching.
Now, I will say this regarding season 2, which is why just default it's my least favorite season. I still like it, but just because it feels a bit too similar to the first season.
Yes.
I think they should have done something a little further, like make it so, which is what they seem to be doing, at least with season 3 and 4, is same characters and following the story, but a different...
Not following the same exact formula.
Yeah, almost a different genre each season.
Yeah.
I think they should have made it a little more different in season 2, so I can see why people be like...
But I feel like those complaints only really happened once season 3 came out, because then people were kind of tired of it.
That's a good point. Well, I almost feel like people didn't really give it that much of a chance at that point. Like, maybe they watched a couple episodes and they're like, eh.
What, season 3?
But I don't know.
I don't know. Before we get into season 2, what is your favorite episode of season 1?
Oh, my favorite episode is... Let me see if I get the number right. Chapter 6, The Monster. Purely because the end, when 11 rolls up like a bad bitch.
Yes.
And breaks the bully's arm and is like, yo, get out of here. I'm the boss. I'm the new sheriff in town. And I remember the first time I saw that. Again, that was a scene I had already seen from clips.
That's a very iconic scene.
I was like,
yeah.
And I was amazed. I was gagged. Oh, and I think it's just one of the best like endings because it's so satisfying.
Yes.
It's like, yes.
And that's another such iconic moment. And I think what's especially charming about season 1 is they weren't necessarily trying to find an iconic moment. This all just happened so organically. And that scene is like the culmination of so much. And it's so iconic.
And Dustin's hilarious.
Dustin is so good. Dustin was, when I watched season 1 for the first time, I'm like, Dustin is me. He is me in the friend group.
I will say season 1 by the end, I was like, my favorite characters are Dustin and 11.
Yeah. They are great. They are great. I can't really pick a favorite episode, but like I have to. I think that like a moment. It's really hard, guys. Episode 6 is, I would have to agree, one of the best because of also we get the supermarket scene in that one.
That's
I believe.
Right. That's funny.
And just the whole arc getting closed of Elle feeling like she's a monster, and it continues, and it also opens up an arc that continues. It's great. But I would say like this last watch through, I think an episode that really stood out to me was episode 3 when at the end they find Will's body in quotations. I think it's just so heart wrenching and like it's crazy that 3 episodes in you barely know who Will is. All of the characters and their connection to him, you don't need to know who Will is that much. It doesn't matter because he matters to all of these characters that you love. And when you see them pull his body out, you're like, what? This can't be. Also, he's a child, so of course.
Yeah.
And also, this is not a part of episode 3, but I think leading that into episode 4 when Hopper's trying to talk to Joyce about it, and she's just kind of like spacing out, and she's like, this is not real because I just talked to him. But she's also like, am I crazy? Like, she starts to kind of think that she is. And the lighting in this scene is so wonderful. You still get like, you can see the Christmas lights, but they look sort of like barbed wire because it's dark and it's just the wires of it that you see. And it's all dark and gloomy, which is such a change from when you see the later seasons. It's like, this is not really something that you see anymore in Stranger Things. I love it so much. And then, of course, the connection between Joyce and Hopper really starts to cement here because he's kind of bonding with her over the fact that they both have lost their child. It's so powerful. But anyway, that's episode 4. Episode 3, the real big moment of them all seeing him being pulled out of the water is just, it sticks with you. Even though you know it's not right.
Something's fishy here.
That's like when I knew I really care about all of these characters, and they did that in 3 episodes. So it's a great episode. And also when Jonathan comes, Joyce is like running down the street because that big moment just happened where the thing came out of the wall. Another iconic moment, like I said, in episode 3. And Jonathan sees her and he just gets out of the car and hugs her. That's great. I love that.
Yeah, that's really good.
Oh, and then of course the Peter Gabriel song, which comes back in season 3. That is the song that they play when a character dies, but they didn't really die. So when you hear that, be suspicious, folks. If they do that in season 5, be on the lookout. But yeah, 10 out of 10 for me. Season. How would you rate it?
Yep.
10 out of
5 out of 5.
Yeah, it's perfect. There's no notes.
No notes. Well, I have a note. I have a note that is.
Oh yes, I know what you're gonna say.
Oh, you do?
Oh, I thought I knew you were gonna say. What are you gonna say?
That I hate Jonathan Byers.
Yes,
no.
yes.
No.
Oh,
well, I mean,
that's what I thought you were gonna say.
Yes, but that adds to the fun.
They brush past how creepy Jonathan Byers is way too fast.
Can I just take a moment? This isn't my complaint because this actually makes the show more fun for me because I can just rag on this man. But Jonathan Byers was sneaking around in the woods taking pictures of people. That's creepy in and of itself, but you're like, okay, well, he's looking for his brother, so maybe I'll give him a pass. Then he sees, his crush Nancy up in the bedroom taking her clothes off, and he decides, you know what, let me zoom in on that action and take a few pics.
Crazy behavior.
Okay, that...
Inexcusable.
And then he decides to develop said pictures
At school!
And is like, yes. He looks at it, he's like, yes, I'm going to keep this with me. Let me take it home. Luckily, he is stopped by by Steve Harrington, who's like, whoa, you violated my privacy as well with that, so I am angry. And Steve is made out to be like a douche for this.
Yes, for this. He's a douche. He is a douche in my mind because of what he did when he painted Nancy the Slut Wheeler on the theater marquee and then harassed Jonathan about his brother. Yeah, that is when he is a jerk. Was no good ski. But up to that point, he's just kind of like, don't really want to hang out with him.
Yeah, he's just the annoying, weird boyfriend who like gets killed last in a slasher movie.
Which was, I think the original plan was to kill him, but then Joe Keery was so likable that they were like, we gotta keep you around.
He did write that Jonathan Byers is a perv, also,
which is true.
Just the truth.
That is true.
That's not...
They should have put that on the marquee, not in the alleyway.
Yeah, hide it in an alleyway where no one's gonna see.
No one knows. Yeah, no one really cares about Jonathan anyway, so I guess it wouldn't have been as impactful for them to put that in a public space.
But here's the thing: there's never an apology. There's never Nancy being upset. Which maybe she doesn't have a problem with it. Whatever. That's fine. I mean, you.
Steve had a problem with it, and Steve was in the pictures.
And he never got an apology. He was just made out to be the villain. And, I'm supposed to feel so bad for Jonathan because, they took his pictures, his pervy pictures, and ripped them up. And, but he was looking for his brother. No, he was not. He zoomed in on Nancy taking her clothes off because he's like...
Yeah, you can't convince me. It was one of those moments, I think Robin says it in season 3, where she's like, we try to pretend that we're above... like being interested in the cool kids when we're the nerdy ones, but we all care about you, which I think, that makes sense why he was taking pictures of them at the pool. Still creepy, but like it explains it. But
once you go there,
that's like illegal, is it not?
Yes. First of all, isn't that child pornography if she's underage? Oh
I think she was 15 or 16.
The thing is, Steve is the only one in the universe who has a problem with it, and that has
his friends do too.
Well, yes, but who cares about them?
They suck. They're pervs too.
Itself doesn't seem to have a problem with it.
No.
And I'm like, I just need him to be like, wow, that was weird what I did, and let me apologize. At least.
He says sorry in the woods, and he's like, yeah, sorry, I know I was wrong. Like, he's, like, annoyed that he has to say it.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Yeah, whatever. So, I hate Jonathan Byers, and I hated him for so long because I was pissed that no one is recognizing this.
Yeah.
And Nancy's, like, hard eyes for him. I'm like...
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I don't like it. He does eventually kind of redeem himself for me, but we'll talk about that later.
I like Jonathan in season 2 and season 4. Season 1 and season 3, bottom of the barrel character for me.
Ugh. But anyway, just my one note with season 1 is it is a bit too much CG for my taste. I know that, they do a lot of practical stuff, which is really nice. Like
season 1 probably has the most practical.
Yeah, and that's awesome. But I feel like if you're... And this is not just Stranger Things. This is a lot of stuff. When you advertise yourself as... we're like the old times, but then put a bunch of CG, it's like, because you're like, well, the practical doesn't look as good. I'm like, yeah, but that's kind of the point. It's supposed to look a little goofy and
there are like 2 great shots in season 1. Why did my throat just try to eat itself? There are 2 great shots in season 1 where there's one when Barb is about to get attacked, where the Demogorgon turns around and the face opens up, and that's all practical. And then there's also the one where Nancy is in the tree. She goes through the tree portal and she sees the Demogorgon. The Demogorgon turns around, and that's all practical. It looked really good. Like good. I don't understand why they had to. Maybe for a couple shots, I understand CG because they have to show him like moving around, but
even a person in a suit is.
And it looked good.
Yeah.
Especially, you put in the right lighting, you don't show too much.
Exactly.
And they didn't even show much. anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And that's a problem that is actually an advantage to a lot of movies and TV shows, because they're like, we can't get the whatever to work, the animatronic, so let's just not show it. And that ends up working better.
Yeah,
which
it's
I
more
think,
scary.
you know, the shadows and everything in this show are amazing. But a lot of the times they, like, don't use them quite enough for me. It's like, because they want to show, like, the big gooey monster, but they paint it with CG to make it more cinematic, which that's just the one thing I'm like, I don't know if you need to do that.
Yeah.
To be fair, later on in the show, when they continue to use, like, makeup and practical stuff, but just painting it over a bit with CG, and it does look better, obviously, as the budget gets higher.
The CG is better quality.
Yeah, at least. So I'm like, okay, but this one, obviously, their budget's a bit lower, so it's like, it looks a little, like, gummy pasty for me.
It almost a little video gamey.
Yeah, but it's not enough to be like, oh, God,
they
you
don't
roll your
show it
eyes.
that much in this season, so it's not a huge issue for me.
Yeah.
But I do love those shots stand out, the all practical shots, and I wish they had tried. I think they did try, because they said, they were like, we really wanted it all to be practical, but they ended up using CG for some reason. Maybe they just couldn't make it work. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving into season 2. Season 2 comes out a year and a half later, something like that.
The Halloween season.
On October 27th, 2017. I was very excited. I missed a middle school dance to stay home and watch the new season, and I don't regret it.
No?
Because every middle school dance I did go to, I hated. So there we go. I kind of felt bad for my friend because she went on her own. She had other friends, though. It was fine. Yeah, so this one, again, I feel like this one, I don't know. It's really hard to say which season has my favorite vibe, but I think it's season 2 just because it's so cozy and I love Halloween so much.
I love Halloween.
And I would also say this season has my favorite score. Like, I really like, this season is all about, it's sort of like season 1.5. It's kind of them closing out all of those mysteries that we were left open in season 1. And it's also all about the characters dealing with the emotional aftermath of everything that happened. And the music sort of has this, like, it has like vocalizations that are like, woo, and it like sounds really sad. And just every time I hear the music, I'm like, oh, it like perfectly encapsulates the vibe of what's going on for everyone mentally this season, and I love it so much. I'm gonna try to give an overview of the season. So, Will is back. They have gotten him back from the Upside Down. Another great sequence of season 1 is when Hopper is bringing Will back to life, and he's getting flashbacks of his daughter. Great. I just had to put it in there. Another great moment. Another great emotional moment. But anyway, Will's back. He's thrown up slugs. It's almost been a year since he has been taken to the Upside Down. So the trauma of that is coming up. We've got Mike. He's struggling because Elle is disappearing. Elle has disappeared, and he's like, I feel like she's alive, but no proof of life. We got Hopper. He has been hiding Elle in his cabin for the whole year. Meanwhile, in the teen department, Nancy has gotten back with Steve and is very much struggling over the death of Barb and sort of dealing with that guilt. So we've got some great emotional damage. That's the only word I could think of. Much emotional damage, especially in the Wheeler household and the Byers household. People are struggling. This season introduces new characters. We have Max and Billy. They come from California, my home state, so instantly I'm a little bit excited. They tried to give Sadie Sink a fake tan in this season, and, you know, I wouldn't have noticed it if they hadn't said anything about it, but every time I watch this season, I'm like, oh yeah, they gave her a fake tan. Yeah. But yeah, so we have a new member of the party, and that's really fun. I feel like when she first joined, I was like, how are they going to make her seamlessly fit in? But I feel like by the time we get to season 4, she's like cemented. Like, I kind of forget that she wasn't in the first season by the time I'm watching season 4, which is great. And of course, Billy, we have to redeem Steve this season, so Billy is the new big bad high school boy.
And let me tell you, if anyone, I mean, I never had a burning hatred for Steve, but I was just like, yeah, he's kind of the douche.
Yeah.
But man, if you want to hate a character,
they really make him as hateable as possible. They really didn't want to run into the issue that they did with Steve, where like they felt like they couldn't kill him off because they felt like he could be likable. With Billy, they were like, no. He's got to be bad all the way through, so we can kill him off and not feel bad about it.
And still, he's so fun to watch.
Yes, they still make him. He's a great villain.
Yes.
And we also have Bob. He's my favorite. Sean Astin, he auditioned for this part. Can you believe that? The Duffer Brothers saw the tape and were like, no question, he's going to be in the show.
To be in the show.
Yeah, and I think Bob was not supposed to be a character that you really got attached to. He was supposed to die in episode 3. Will was supposed to kill him. Yeah, which they were then like, we shouldn't do that because then it would almost make Will unredeemable, even though it wasn't his fault. It would just be too much. Especially this show isn't that dark
yet.
No. So then they decided to keep Bob around, and I think a lot of that had to do with Sean Astin. I think a lot of his character was kind of informed by the fact that Sean Astin was playing him, and I love it so much. We get his more like brainy side, and that moment when he says, "What's at the X? Pirate treasure?" They're trying to reference the Goonies. It's great. I love Bob. Everything. I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, I have a bone to pick with this season.
So here's my thing. There was an internet thing. This is another thing that like cemented the show as iconic, was the Justice for Barb trend online. Where was Justice for Bob?
You got a little bit, but not
yes,
as much.
Yes, I understand that in season 1 they do kind of like just see Barb's body and then she's never mentioned again.
They're like, bye.
But they were cruel to Bob. Why did they do that?
I can see them in the writer's room being like,
they I don't know what happened, but on set they for some reason needed one of the writers to like be a stand-in as the demodog that's attacking Bob. So like she had to get all bloody and pretend to kill Sean Astin, and I was like, that's metaphorical that a writer literally committed the act.
Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm like, that really shows what they did here.
It's really crazy.
Bob's death is the worst.
Is traumatic.
It's the worst death in the whole series to date. Like I'll put that out there strongly. Put a stamp on it. Paid for by Kayla Irving.
It's so it's so mean because he reads as the person who's gonna die because he's so nice.
Yes,
he's too nice for this world, and you're
yes.
like, but he's still there. He keeps being there, and you're like,
maybe
it's gonna be okay.
Maybe.
And then towards the end, the whole sequence of him trying to escape and get out of the lab is so like, oh, is he about to die? Nope, he's okay. Oh, but what? It's so mean.
It's so mean. And then they show it in detail. I think this was the moment, one of a couple moments, I guess, where they were like, we're trying to go a little darker. Just a smidge, but we're getting there. And yeah,
into the edgy.
Very bloody. Very, very. We were talking about this where, was it season 1? Yeah, it was season 1 when the Demogorgon comes through the portal at the school and kills all of the like soldiers and all of Brenner's men. And I was like, if this were season 4, you would have seen all the blood. Mm-hmm. And then we watched season 2. Emily was like, they kind of already did that in season 2
with a character who deserved it the least.
Yeah, I mean, they show a lot of like bloody dead people in the elevator, all of the scientists, but you don't see an elongated killing and like him screaming in slow motion. It's so bad.
Why?
Why did they do this?
I feel like I could sue for emotional damage.
Yes, there was no reason for that. Oh, yeah. And then afterwards, you get Mike giving the monologue about, oh, did you know that Bob was the one who started the AV club at Hawkins Middle? No, I didn't, Mike, and thank you for telling me.
Mike, it happened 10 minutes ago. Do shut up.
Do shut up. Oh my gosh. So, anyway.
Imagine just seeing a guy get annihilated in real time. And then you're sitting at the table and you're like, hey, by the way.
Mike didn't see it, to be fair. Oh. It was only Joyce and Hopper, thank God, that Mike tried to see it, and I think Hopper, like, shoved him away. Yeah.
Anyway, Bob.
That was rough. I needed to get that out of the way. So Bob is the best. He's
literally you couldn't ask for a more perfect boyfriend.
Yeah, so he's Joyce's boyfriend. You start to, it's a beautiful little thing of like the kids both start to like him, even though he's a dork. He bonds with Will. He helps Will. They kind of keep him in the dark about what's going on with Will because they can't really tell anyone. They're not allowed to. They made a deal with the government, I guess, that they can't tell anyone. So Bob is like in the dark until the end, but he's still like so with them and everything. And it's like, what?
He will be down for anything.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, what are we doing? Okay.
Yeah, these weird vines
I'd be-
painted all over the house, and then we have to go into a weird greasy tunnel to find Jim Hopper buried in vines. Okay, I'll help you.
Yeah, because the people I care about asked me to. I'm like, I would have been so out like long ago.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, because he wants to be in this family because he loves them all so much. I'm like, that is a rare man. Right
he's
there.
like, I get to date Joyce Byer.
Yeah.
It's like so cute.
And he just genuinely cares. I feel like that kind of figure in a story can be like, even when they try to make it wholesome, it's like, it just feels like he's trying to establish himself as like the dominant father man of the house. Or it just
feels so much like this is almost the way I feel about Eddie in season 4, but I feel like they did enough where you end up loving Eddie, but he could have been a character. Bob could have been a character where it's like, okay, I get what you're doing, you're gonna kill him off, but
yeah,
like, yes, you know that he's gonna die, but you're like, but no, I don't want you to.
He genuinely cares about everyone, about Joyce obviously, but her kids as well, not just because I'm trying to like getting good with Joyce. He's like, no,
he's just a good guy.
Yeah, he sees himself in them, and he's like, oh, I want to be the person that I didn't have when I was growing. I'm giving Bob like this whole backstory in my mind. That's what it feels like.
But yeah, that is a testament to what a good character he is, because you can like, even though you don't know a lot about his past, you're like, I know this man. He is my friend.
Yes, he is good. He is friend.
He is friend. He is dead.
Yes.
So yeah,
anyway,
justice for Bob.
Season 2.
Season 2 as a whole we should talk about. So,
maybe.
I will just say I really like Nancy and Jonathan this season. I feel like I really like the continuation of her being so guilty about Barb that she kind of is pushing Steve away, and then Steve just doesn't, he's not there. He doesn't really understand what's going on. Yeah. And then Jonathan is there to be like, all right, I'll help you because I'm mad too. They took my brother. And then they get to go off on their little thing. And of course we get Murray. Yes. Like their storyline this season is really fun to me. This is one of the only times when Nancy and Jonathan are like a standout plotline to me.
Yes.
I think they are my least favorite plotline in season 1. We'll get into later seasons. But I really like them this season. And I think their plotline is fun. And I'm kind of on Jonathan's side of their little argument this season, where she's like, he's kind of angry that she moved on and went back to Steve, but she's like, well, I waited for you. Okay, then you could have waited for me and stayed single. Why'd you have to go back to Steve? And she's like, this is why I don't think her and Steve should be together. I'm firmly in the no Stancy camp, which is like, Steve represents, like, she would be living out the life that her mother lived out, and she can see how miserable her parents are. They don't really love each other.
And Steve as well. He would be living a life he doesn't really want, I think.
Yeah, because Nancy is not, she's not gonna be, I don't think she wants kids. I don't think she wants to get married super fast. She's committed to, of course, getting Justin for Barb, and then later, like, exposing everything. She's being a journalist. She's into her thing. She's not going to be a family person. Steve is a total family person, which is great.
Yeah.
That just means that I don't think they belong together.
Yeah.
And I do like Nancy and Jonathan as a couple because they so much represent like going against the mold that your parents set out for you and that you feel like you could very easily fall into. I really like that. And they carry that dynamic over into season 4. And I like their arc in season 4. Of course, it's not one of the more interesting arcs in season 4, but I like that they did something with that. I don't like the Steve and Nancy arc in season 4, but of course we will get to that later. But anyway, just wanted to put that out there. I really like Nancy and Jonathan this season. I also love the new dynamic we get between Eleven and Hopper. this is great. This is great drama. Now, episode 4 is when, I think it's episode 4? I'm not good at remembering what happens in each episode, as big of a fan as I am. But that moment where Elle, like, basically has a temper tantrum. She's an adolescent girl with powers. Like, I love how they explore that. Like, what would it be like to parent that? Yeah. It's rough. And Hopper does not go about it the best way.
Hopper of all people.
Yeah, and we get Elle throwing, like, the temper tantrum and crashing all of the windows out in the cabin. It's so good. I love, like, their chemistry as actors, and like the way that scene is acted is so good. With the boys, we have, of course, the new lady in the mix. So we have a little bit of a love triangle going on between Lucas, Dustin, and Max, which a lot of people didn't like because, I mean, I can see you don't need another love triangle. You already have one. But this one is like, it's so juvenile that I'm like, it's fun. It doesn't mean anything. It's fun. And I really love Dustin and Lucas as a comedic duo.
Yes.
So watching them like try and fail to woo her over is really fun
and she
for
just
me.
Doesn't care about either of them.
Yes. Yeah. And then you have Mike and Will. Mike gets a lot of hate this season because he is a bit of a douche. But, you know, I understand him. He's grieving, for one, but also, like, he can't really grieve because he's like, I know that she's not dead. So, like, that's a really complicated place for a 14-year-old to be. Yep. And then what I really relate to with Mike about this season is he's like the leader friend. All of his friends before always look to him. What are we going to do next? What are we going to play next? I was that friend. And then when you grow up, everyone becomes their own person, and so that dynamic kind of fades away, and you can see Mike struggling with that. He's like, wait a minute, like, who am I now? Like, what value do I bring to this group? And of course, when he sees that Will is in trouble, he's like, I have someone else to save and protect, and he jumps right onto that. And of course, because he really cares about Will. And I love the Will and Mike dynamic. Many people online also do.
And I have to say, myself included, and upon this rewatch of this season was like 1,000 times almost elevated for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I was watching, just I think knowing things about Will as we do now after season 4, and going back and watching this, Will spending a lot of this season with Mike, it's so heartwarming because of their connection and their lovely friendship, and also heart-wrenching because we know
what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we know how Will, he doesn't even really know how he feels at this point, but obviously it's there, and he just doesn't really know, like, how to think of it. I guess
how to put it into words.
Yeah, but because right now to him it's just like, well, this is like my best friend ever, and I love him so much, and I want us to always be together, because that's what you do when you're little kids. Even with your best friend, you're like, I thought I was gonna live with my best friend in elementary school, and like we were gonna have a life together. Not because I had a crush on her or anything, just because I was
your
like,
closest relationship outside of your family.
How could we not?
There's a lot of that, and again, what I love so much, that's so realistic. Like you said, you can instantly relate to that feeling, and there's so much tenderness and heart there, and that is only something you could do if you write with a kids in mind instead of like trying to cater to them.
Yep.
That is something that definitely, their dynamic, Will and Mike's dynamic, and Mike and Elle's dynamic, even though it's more of like it didn't happen to everyone, obviously. There's just like emotions and like the way that they talk to each other and react to each other that's so realistic, and you're like, yes, they're so stupid because they don't realize what their feelings are, but like, this is how I would have been back then. So yeah, that's a dynamic that I surely love, and I feel like I am more of a Mike and Eleven shipper, but I can acknowledge that the Will and Mike ship is top tier. Like, you know, I feel like we can all acknowledge that.
Yes. I very much have become a fan in like the past year or so. Yeah. Like, yeah, I feel like this.
There was a time, I think after season 3 came out, it was before season 4 came out, where I was on Twitter and there were so many fights. Like, the Mike and 11 people and the Will and Mike people get into battles online. I wasn't involved in them, but I would witness them. And the whole time I'm like, they're both great. Why can't we just both acknowledge that?
Listen, I ship Raylo and Kylux, all right?
Yeah.
You can have everything you want.
So yeah, they're a great dynamic. I also think Mike is such, like, he's the only one that Will could have this dynamic with because he's such a, like, caring, and I think he's emotionally intelligent, but it's just because he feels emotions so deeply, and a lot of times he doesn't know how to deal with them, but that also makes him a really, really caring friend, and to Will in this season, it's just so sweet.
And it makes you, because he's like that with all his friends, you know?
Yes.
He would do anything for them, but as you watch, there's something just about the dynamic between him and Will that there's something deeper there.
I think they were friends first, first of all, but I also think that Mike really latches on to, like, really sensitive souls who, like, kind of need someone to look out for them, and you can see that he interacts with Elle and Will in a very similar way. He, like, uses the same soft voice with them. He, like, knows to check on them. He, like, whenever something's wrong, he, like, instantly sees it with both of them.
Yep.
So
he gets annoyed with them in, like, a different kind of way where it's not as, like,
it's deeper.
Yeah.
And it's less flippant.
Yes.
So, and it's great. I love both of these dynamics so much.
Yeah. And especially when they're young here, because it's just, like, so...
It's innocent, and it's like, yes, this is what it was like. And we have to switch to the Elle and Mike dynamic. There's so much angst this season.
Yes.
I feel like this season cemented my love for them. I love the scene where he is calling her. He calls her every night because he's like, I know she's out there. And he calls her on Halloween night after, like, he's kind of fed up with his friends. He was kind of a jerk to them, true. Yep. But he's just like, you know, I feel like everyone in this season, except for, like, Mike, Nancy, Joyce, and Will, maybe, are, like, so committed to going back to normal and, like, everything's fine. They weren't as affected by what happened, and they're like, why isn't everyone going back to normal? They are, like, still kind of stuck in what happened, and I think Mike gets mad at, like, why are you having fun right now when I'm miserable? And, like, yes, that's not healthy, but I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he calls Elle after his horrible Halloween night, and Elle sees him in the void, and she sort of, like, sees him and tries to touch his face, and he, like, senses her and says, Elle, is that you? And then he's like, no, I'm crazy, I'm seeing visions. But, like, can we establish that that's crazy?
It made me wonder, and I forgot to look out for this the rest of the rewatch, but I'm like, I mean, it's been implied already that Will might have
powers.
Yeah. But that scene made me think, like, does Mike have something?
My thought is that it's just when you have, like, an emotional connection with someone, you can sense them. Because we see in season 1, when Joyce is in the Upside Down and Jonathan is in the real world, she can sense that Jonathan is there. It's kind of the same thing that's happening here. And I think it also happens with when Elle sees her mom in the void. She knows that she's there because she loves Elle. But it could also be because she has powers.
Yeah, I think her mom has.
But I think it's more because of that.
Because of.
But then, of course, Billy does the same thing, and that's because he's, like, connected with Vecna and the Mind Flayer, whatever's going on there. So it could be also because of powers. But, I mean, I think having that much empathy and emotional connection to people, that is a superpower, and I think Mike has that.
Yeah. And it made me think, like, is it kind of like the Force, as they show in Star Wars, like in Revenge of the Sith, the scene between Anakin and Padme where they're, like, miles away from each other but obviously still sensing each other, even though, as far as we know, Padme doesn't have Force powers. I'm like, if you're connected that deeply with someone who does have that power, do they kind of transfer it to you in a way?
That's interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that moment, I think when I first watched it, I was like, oh, they're my OTP, because that's crazy. And then, of course, we get their big reunion at the end, and that's one of my favorite scenes ever.
Yeah.
Because I think what I love about Mike and 11 so much is, like, they're kids. And, like, they can... And they feel these, like, really intense emotions, both of them. And I feel like a lot of adults would be like, kids can't feel that. But I feel like I was feeling stuff like that at that age, and it always annoyed me that people were like, well, kids can't understand this, and blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, yes, they can, and it's so powerful. And that reunion just hits you. Because it's the whole season, you're like, because Mike is so miserable. And he is kind of a jerk to the people around him. Especially Max. I do kind of feel bad for Max.
That was pretty bad.
But I also feel like Max kind of starts to understand him at the end. And I like the Mike and Max dynamic. They hate each other, but they also have an understanding of each other. But yeah, when you see this, it's like, I think there was a book that came out that was like about Max's backstory, and also has season 2. It goes into season 2, but from Max's perspective, and you see the reunion scene through her perspective, and she says it looks like 1,000 pounds of weight has been lifted off of Mike's shoulders, and that's what it looks like in the show, and it's so sweet. Both of them, really, they're both like, oh my god, you're here. And then we get that intense scene with Mike and Hopper.
Yep.
Another dynamic that I freaking love in this show.
Especially in season 3.
Yes, but this is the start of it, where he just goes crazy on Hopper, because Hopper could have told him, like, I feel like there could have been a world where it would have worked out if Hopper had told him. I mean, obviously it does, because that's what happens in season 3, where Mike just comes to visit, and Elle can't really go out anywhere, but it's okay for a little bit. Well, we'll get into that. So yeah, it is frustrating. I'd be frustrated too. And Mike, you know, we can trace it from season 1. Mike has a problem with authority. So he beats up a cop, and stupid decision, very stupid decision. But
beat up Hellboy.
And only Mike could look Hopper in the face and be like, "You're a stupid, disgusting liar, and I'm going to punch you now. Give me $200." So that is a scene that I love. And I love that he just starts crying and Hopper just hugs him. Like, that scene sums up their dynamic so much.
Yep.
Oh, it's so good. So season 2, like, almost takes the cake emotional arc wise for me. There's so much good food to nibble at.
We haven't even gotten to Steve and his arc.
No, Steve.
Oh man.
I feel like in season 1, like, the Joyce emotional arc is really, really powerful, but then there's like so many powerful emotional arcs in the following seasons, and season 2 here is like, some of them are really good. But yeah, then we move to Steve.
Amazing.
What do you say? Like, this is the beginning of it all.
This is the season I'm like, maybe Steve is my favorite character, actually.
I should have said Steve was up there in my top 3. It's really hard.
Here's the thing.
Steve is like number 4. He's almost there.
He's got to be up there.
Yeah.
But the thing about Steve is, what makes me continue to like him is he starts off as like, whatever generic boyfriend dude trying to just get in the girl's pants and then be done with her. And then you see, like, maybe he is, a nice person at least.
Yeah.
And then, everything goes down and you're like, oh, he's one of those guys.
Yes. Yeah.
Not for me. And then he goes back to it and he's like, no, I was wrong. That sucked. I was like, oh, that's nice. Then you think he's about to die. And then he comes, as we all know, he comes through. And then this season, he starts off, you feel kind of bad for him because Nancy's so obviously not into this relationship, but he's like,
he's so into it.
And then he obviously feels lost without a relationship. In my mind, I don't think it's just Nancy. I think he just wants a relationship.
Because I think that might be something that, like, cements you as a cool kid in high school, maybe, to have someone on your arm.
Or it's just like all he's known for himself. He's like, I'm the guy who has
ladies lining
the girlfriend, and he's like,
and she doesn't like me. I don't think he's ever had a situation where a lady didn't like him back
that much.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, what do I do? He's lost his sense of identity, but he finds it in the form of being a babysitter to these children, and it's amazing.
It's so great. This is another one where I feel like they were finally feeling the fact that their cast had grown a little bit, and they weren't sure where everyone was going to fit before they all came together. And they had Dustin and Steve, both these characters who were kind of like ostracized from their main group because they did something that the group didn't agree with. And, of course, they had a lady who didn't like them back.
Oh.
So, like, we're seeing the parallels. And now when you look back, you see parallels between their storylines in season 2 as it builds up to this. And then all of a sudden, they come head to head at the Wheeler house when they're both, Dustin's looking for Mike and Steve is looking for Nancy. And, you know, it's history after that. They have a team up.
Unlikely duo that I think is my favorite dynamic of the show, period.
It's gotta
Steve and Dustin.
be, like, there's no dynamic that brings me such levity but also depth because they really care for each other.
Yes.
And they really have found, like, a comfort in each other. Like, they can go to each other with advice. It's so beautiful.
It's what I wished if we ever got an Agatha All Along season 2. It's what I wish the Agatha and Billy dynamic would become.
It is a similar setup to that.
Yeah. Of just, like, older person's like, I obviously know so much more, and then the younger person's like,
no.
Okay, honey.
It's great. Like, you would never think in season 1 of these two characters being in a scene together even.
Yeah.
And then they
have, like, the best relationship.
Yeah. And I think the actors both have really good comedy chops.
Yes.
So they definitely have, like, a buddy cop vibe. I need to see them in something else after. This can't be the end of that chemistry.
No,
I just thought about that. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah. But the thing about Steve also is this isn't this and then that's it for him. You know, he's become.
Yeah,
like
he has more to do.
Like then he's freaking Steve's acting like a dick again, and you're like,
yes.
oh, here he goes, he's awesome now, and then you're like, oh, here he goes. Like,
yeah, he relapses.
Yeah,
but not in a way that it's like they couldn't come up with anything more for him. A little bit in season 4, but
he feels like a real person. He was like, yeah, that guy. You think about Steve, and you're like, a part of you is like a douche, but then the other part's like badass.
Yes. He's that person who, like, you look at on the street and be like, this is who I think he is, but no, there's so much more to that, and that is true of everyone.
And
so
he can
very
be
realistic.
Like an honestly tender person as well at some points. There's so many layers. You know, Steve is like an onion.
He is like an onion. And I love it when they bring the whole kid group to him, because then he has to deal with more than just Dustin and his snide remarks. He has to deal with corralling all of these children and protecting them. I love the scene in the junkyard when he beats up the demodogs and he's trying to protect them, and he's also not, you know, he's not the greatest protector, but, you know, he's what they have, and he does his best, and he gets them out alive. I love that. I love the scene where he's like, how come the only one helping me out is this random girl? Like, the whole dynamic is just so fun. And then Mike joins the mix at the end, and they're all down in the tunnels. Like, that stuff is so fun too. Yeah. They're all everyone's falling over, and they got to stop and be like, "Are you okay?" Oh, it's so good. And I feel like gotta keep these kids protected. And the scene in the car,
yes,
which
they have to save him.
Yes, that's a great switcheroo.
They will all swarm to protect Mother Steve.
Yes. I think a lot of the dialogue in that scene is also improv. Apparently Joe Keery improv the Nancy, and so I think the reaction, I don't know if Finn Wolfhard's reaction is genuine, because they might have done that shot after, but that's really good. What? And then when Dustin's like, you put up a good fight, he kicked your ass, but you put up a good fight, that's improv.
That's Steve's character in a nutshell.
Yes. He tries his best to protect his people, but sometimes it doesn't go well.
Does he fail? Often.
He fails
but
often.
You know, it's the thought that counts.
Yes.
And I feel like this is what, like, as soon as he became this babysitter, was the moment, unintentionally or not, where he decided he wanted to have a bunch of kids.
Yes.
I just like that for my headcanon.
He's like, this is what I'm good at. I can do that. Yeah. You can see him definitely coming into more of that role. He's like, no, I'm keeping you safe.
Yep.
Everyone follow me. Oh, it's great. We get the Max and Lucas of it all in this season introduced. I really like them in this season. I really love the scene of them on top of the old bus in the junkyard. Because I feel like I love this dynamic because Lucas is such a nerd and he's a little bit socially behind Max, and Max is so like, she's more socially smart and less of a nerd. And I love the dynamic between them because she's the logic in the relationship and he's more of like, he's a scientist. He knows science logic, but he doesn't know girlfriend logic. But he's also like, he comforts her. He's like, no, I can see that you're not like your brother. I love that moment too. He's just so sweet. And Lucas is very funny this season. He's funny in every season, but season 2 is a standout. Also in season 1, he's like, yeah, eat shit. He has some great moments. Season 3, he's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I think that dynamic is really sweet. And I think it makes sense because they really see each other in a way that you wouldn't expect because they're so different. Yeah, what else do we have to talk about? I think we talked about everything. Oh, Will! Wait! The supernatural of it all.
Oh, Will being possessed.
Noah Schnapp is great in this season.
If you look past the hair.
But it adds to the creepiness.
That's true.
I think that it adds something. So I will permit it. I think he has these eyes, especially when he was younger and he was like smaller. They just are big and scared, and you can feel that fear in every scene.
Looks like Puss in Boots when he does the little...
He does. And you just feel so bad for him. He's just this little guy. Mm-hmm. And the whole twist where... Because he is like he's like the baby of the whole cast, kind of. And he's the least likely that you would expect to be evil. So he's the perfect person for the Mind Flayer to possess. And it's a great moment when he becomes the spy for the Mind Flayer, and he leads all of the scientists to the belly of the beast, basically, and gets them all killed. It's like, oh crap. Will, we gotta put you to sleep. We gotta put you to sleep now.
We gotta take you out to pasture.
It definitely leads to kind of a slower start in the season because you have to kind of ramp up that possession storyline, and it doesn't really seem like anything's happening for a while. And then I think episode 4 or 5 is when it really, gets creepy. So it's a slower build, and it's less... I think the Mind Flayer is a little less iconic than the Demogorgon, I would say. But I feel like as we learn more about him, he is becoming quite iconic. But this first season, I don't know, you can't really connect with it as much as you can with the Demogorgon. But I do think it's still cool to have a Lovecraftian monster. That was what they set out for. That's what the Duffer Brothers said. They wanted a Lovecraftian thing. And I think that this season overall builds the world of the Upside Down really well. Again, there's so much mystery left. They don't really answer many questions except for like what the Mind Flayer wants just to take over. But we get the Demodogs. We get to see like the younger version of the Demogorgon, so that's cool. We get to see their like evolution, and then we get the vines and the weird pulsating butthole looking things. What is that?
What is that?
But yeah, we definitely cement like this thing is here for a reason. It's here to take over. So that definitely builds out the world more. So I like that they did that. But again, I think it is a bit of a slow build this season. That's why a lot of people thought it was kind of boring, which I can see. But I think they compensate that with the good emotional arcs, in my opinion, which I think is why a lot of people call this season underrated, like the most underrated season. And I can see that. So yeah, we didn't talk about the Lost Sister. Should we do that?
Oh my god. Does anyone remember that? No. We deleted it from
basically,
our mind.
we're in the camp that doesn't like it. I think that the characters, again, like I said, the thing that we love so much about Stranger Things Season 1 is the characters. And I think that the creators might have been like, because 11 was probably the most iconic character of the bunch, they were like, well, we can put her off on her own and introduce you to this bigger world that we're building with these new characters. I don't think it worked because it's an ensemble show. Each of these characters only works when they're with the rest of the characters because those dynamics. It's not just the characters, although Elle is an excellent character, but it's her dynamics with the rest of the main characters that is the best. And I do like that they build out her past. Like I said, lots of world building, which I appreciate. I like that you get to see her mother and what happened to her mother, and you get to see this rage really build up in Elle she's very mad about what happened to her mother. She's mad about being locked away like a little Rapunzel in her room, not being listened to by Hopper. And we get to see in The Lost Sister that she is learning to channel her rage in order to be more powerful, which again sets up an amazing arc that we continue in season 3 and season 4, and I think it will continue in season 5 as well. So that's all great. However, I think the characters in episode 7 are really lackluster. I don't care
to say
about
the least.
Yeah, they're cringy to say the most. I don't care for them. I don't even care for 8. Like, she has cool powers, sure, but I don't really care. The other thing that makes it so bad is that they do this episode, which is a one-off episode that only follows these characters in L, right after the end of episode 6, which is when everything is about to start happening. That's the problem with the pacing, I think, in this show, is it is similar to season 1, where it's a slow build and it keeps building, but they did the slow build and it kept building, and right as they got to the big moment, they were like, let's kill it completely with this boring episode with these characters that you don't care about.
This is what you all
unsuccessfully
wanted.
made you care about. That's what I'm saying. This is why a spin-off would not have worked.
You want your anthology? You want want different freaking story, different characters. Here you go. It sucked, didn't it?
And they might have done this because they were still sort of thinking that they wanted to explore more stories, but I don't know. I don't really know why they did this. It's a low point. It's a low point in the show. It's my least favorite episode of the entire show.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people agree, but some people like it, and I, you know, to each their own. There's, like I said, there's some things in it that are interesting and good food, but
then
I
it
can't
gives you
agree with
food poisoning, and you're like, oh,
then it's too much.
Sick.
Yeah, it's too much. Anyway,
that's not my favorite episode.
that is not my favorite episode. Okay, yeah, what's your favorite episode?
So 8 is my favorite. The something. It doesn't show the title.
The Mind Flare.
The Mind Flayer. That's my favorite because of the scene where Will is in the shed and they're all telling him stuff to try to bring him back. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. So emotional.
Again, only a thing you can do if you really make you care about all the characters. Both the characters who are talking to him and him.
Yep, and his reaction to it. Oh. And where he's like, we get more into this a bit with Billy the next season, but where he's obviously like there on the surface, but then not really. Mm-hmm. But then he does the Morse code.
Oh,
I love it.
It's really good. I really love that scene.
And then, yeah, of course, the end where Elle shows back up.
Yes.
Iconic.
Yeah. Yes.
As we've established, Elle rolling up like a bad bitch is one of my favorite things.
Episode 8 also has the big sequence in the lab, which is just so fun and awful at the end.
Yes. Unfortunately, my favorite episode also has that.
I would say I'm glad that you said that was your favorite episode, because I go back and forth. Really, episode 8 and 9 combo is my favorite episode.
They're both really good.
Okay, the season 2 finale is my favorite finale of any of the seasons. I just think the way that the characters come together, like I said, is the best out of any of them. Of course, we get the big Elle reunion at the end. And admittedly, because of The Lost Sister, when you see her back with everyone, it feels, you feel even more.
More relieved.
You know, you have to give it to them for that. I still think that it should have been erased, but
from time.
Well, the sequence in the lab is incredible. The suspense is building. It feels almost like a video game because you see Owens like telling Bob where to go. I said this would have been a great video game.
And I love the specific team of Hopper, Joyce, Bob, Will, Mike.
Me too.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like that because they feel like it sidelined Mike.
I don't think it did at all.
I don't think so either. I think it was necessary for him to be with Will and the Byers family. Well, except for sans Jonathan. And with Hopper too. Like, I don't know. I think that dynamic really worked.
I liked it a lot.
And then you do get Mike being with all the kids at the end for the finale. So I think it worked. The scene in the shed with Will, this is the beginnings of like music helping you come out of it, and just the people who love you helping you come out of it. They've really stuck with this. This is what the series is all about, in my opinion.
Love.
Yes. And yeah, on to episode 9.
The gate.
This again, everyone coming together, excellent. We get in my opinion, my favorite, like, all of them together scene where they're like trying to plan. It's so funny. The whole thing, Hopper is so annoyed with everyone. Dustin is all excited about D&D. Steve, the Germans line is one of my favorite lines. The Nazis. Oh my god, it's excellent. I love it all. And then of course you get the scene we were talking about before with Max driving the car and Steve in the back. We get the Steve and Billy showdown, which is excellent. And then Max gets her moment of shooting Billy with drugs and almost hitting him in the crotch with the nail bat. Oh, what more do you need?
How much?
So that's all great. And then, of course, the team-ups we get in the finale, we get Elle and Hopper back together. They have an amazing scene in the car where they apologize to each other, and then Hopper tells her about his daughter. Beautiful. And then, it's just all around
I love
beautiful.
him alone with her at the end while she's closing the gate. That team-up is excellent. And he's just like
shooting
the
stuff.
while she's
I remember
doing
being
the
so scared that the things were going to get them. Oh, it was so good. And that the imagery of that one, they're like up in the cart and the gate is huge and oh god, how are we ever going to do this? And then she has that moment where she channels her rage and it saves the day. But is it as powerful as love? We will soon find out in season 3 and season 4. Again, excellent setup for that. And then the kids in the tunnels. I love the tunnel stuff in this season. I think that's so fun. Yeah. And, of course, Dart. We didn't really talk about Dart. I really like Dustin's dynamic with Dart. Sometimes I watch the season and I'm annoyed because I'm like, Dustin, come on.
Yeah.
But I get it because Dustin, he's a science dude. And he's like, I found this thing and he loves me. And Dustin is right. He raised the Demogorgon as a baby. And does Dart attack and eat them all? No. Does Dart attack Muse? Well, yes, and I will not forgive him for that.
No.
And I do think we also need justice for Muse. And I feel very bad for Dustin's mother. And I feel bad for Dustin because Dustin had to bury Muse in his backyard and he couldn't tell anyone until he found Steve. So
at least Yertle's okay. Yertle the turtle.
Yertle survived somehow. So I think Dart unfortunately only has a taste for cats and Three Musketeers. So,
but it begs a question once again. These things are raised on flesh, I guess, to love flesh. Are they mind controlled to?
I don't know because what flesh could they eat in the Upside Down without? It's interesting. They are definitely controlled by Vecna. It's really up in the air right now if it's Vecna doing everything or the Mind Flayer.
Yeah.
But as far as we know in season 4, the play aside, I'm not going to talk about the play because I don't want to spoil it for everyone who hasn't seen it. Oh, by the way, Bob is a standout in the play.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Newby is in the play. There's an excellent team up between Joyce Hopper and Bob, which I love. But yeah, as far as we know, everything's Vecna. So I guess Vecna is commanding them to eat. But this little Dart was raised by Dustin.
And he doesn't eat people that we see.
So I think that's an interesting piece of world building that we got. And I like it. I think I understand why Dustin did what he did. And he also is really lonely. I think that's why he holds on to it because Max is going with Lucas and he's kind of like, dang, what do I have? Yeah. I have this cool creature that I found. And so I get it. And I really like Dustin in season 2. He's one of my favorites in season 2. But yeah, then we get the snowball. Getting to the real important part, the snowball.
The snowball's amazing.
Oh my god. Finally everyone is happy and together. And finally, Elle can have a night out on the town. Just one. And we also get amazing moments with Joyce and Hopper when Hopper's comforting her after the death of Bob. And then Nancy and Dustin dancing together. I thought that was so sweet and an amazing callback to the first season when I think Dustin kind of had a crush on her when he was little and he's trying to give her the pizza and she slams the door in his face. And then Nancy says that he is her favorite of his brother's friends,
And
of her brother's friends.
We were all like, yes.
Yes, it's true. I agree. It's great, and everyone has their little suits on.
yes.
It's so cute. And I love the set decoration too. This is one of the coolest school dances I've seen, and of course, just them being at the snowball. We set this up in season 1 where Mike wanted to go with Elle to the snowball, and they finally got to do it. Everything is so satisfying. Everything about this is so satisfying.
The kiss is way better than the season 1.
Yes.
Where he just kind of like fell on her.
The kiss is excellent. Both the kisses. Everyone is happy. Except then we get the excellent turnover. We're going upside down, and then the mind flares over the school watching, because now it has seen Elle, and it knows it needs to be after her. And I think, you could obviously after season 4 read this as Vecna has finally found Elle again, and is like, oh, we gotta get after her. And I think the whole thing, maybe I should finish rewatching season 4 before I say this, but I think the whole thing where her powers were taken away was because Vecna wanted Elle's ability to open gates, because that is what she did when she banished him. She's able to open gates, and I think he wanted that, and that is why he is able to do it in season 4. I think that's the case, but honestly I forget, so I need to finish rewatching season 4. But we're building up to that. Like I said, season 2 opens the world, and now we're in deep doo-doo. Even though everything looks so excellent on the surface, it will not be for long. No. Yeah. As far as ratings, this is so hard. I'm trying to think of the other seasons and where I would put those. The Lost Sister really makes it a struggle. If The Lost Sister were not there, I think this would be like a 9 out of 10, 9.5. But with The Lost Sister there, it's like an 8.5, maybe 9. That's where I'm at.
Honestly, I used to, back in the day, would probably say 3.5.
Out of 5.
Yeah.
No, I was like, Jesus.
No. But now, after the rewatch, I'd probably say 4 out of 5.
Yeah, it's a solid season.
It grew on me.
It is underrated. I think another thing that makes it underrated is it doesn't really have the iconography that all of the other seasons do.
It tried.
Yeah, but I think it's because it tried too hard to do what season 1 did.
Yeah.
Whereas if you compare it to season 3 and season 4, they have their own iconic things, but it's because they were doing their own thing. They weren't trying to recreate what they did in season 1. So that's kind of a weak point with this season. But overall, like I said, the characters, they're getting more and more likable and more depth added to them. And then the world building is really fun in this one. So I love it. And I guess that is where we'll end until next time when we talk about season 3 and season 4.
And we'll have seen a bit of...
And then we'll have season 4. We're going to try not to talk about it. I will probably fail, because I've already talked a lot about season 3 and season 4 in this episode. Anyway, before we sign off, what have we been watching?
Well, we just saw Wicked for good.
We did!
Opening weekend.
It was not as good as the first part. I think that everyone would say that. I think that a lot of people say that about the musical. They don't. I think it felt a little bit all over the place for the first half hour, 40 minutes. And then after that it was like, oh, this is getting good. Yeah. And then it ended and I was like, all right, it was good.
I wasn't expecting the ending at all.
Oh, really? I don't know everything.
I don't know anything about the musical. After the first movie came out, people were saying stuff and I learned a little bit.
So you weren't expecting her to be alive, really?
As we got closer, I was thinking, she's probably gonna be alive somehow. But I was not expecting her to run off in the sunset with Mr. Scarecrow Fierro.
Yeah.
I was very happy with that. Even though he looked like Ryan Reynolds.
He did look kind of weird. Okay, but
that was a little much.
My whole thing going into this was, as long as they knock it out of the park with As Long As You're Mine and No Good Deed, I'm going to be satisfied. And they did.
Two
on
best
both
sequences.
of them. They were right after each other. So I was I was on a high. I was enjoying I think No Good Deed is my favorite song from the musical. I'm saying it. It's better than Defying Gravity.
It was really good.
It's so good. I'm telling you.
And Fierro, listen, he's messy in this one. But
he is.
I kind of love it.
I love the messy love triangle because they all love each other.
Yes.
And
bring the throuple
it's excellent
together.
To see the mess. Yes. I really liked Jeff Goldblum in this one a lot more than I liked him in the first one.
Yeah, I think so.
I liked his little arc, how they kept they kept cutting back to him being more and more distressed.
Yes.
I thought that was fun.
I think it was a good conclusion and wrapping everything up. They feel connected. I don't know how to say, like, it feels like sometimes sequels, it's like, where did this come from?
Yeah, or it's like, wait, what about this? But
Yeah,
I feel like they wrapped everything up pretty cleanly.
Yeah. I am a little upset. I mean, this isn't the movie's fault, I guess, but they changed stuff that happened in The Wizard of Oz in order to fit this, and I was like, that's kind of not fair.
I don't know how much they're taking from the book Wizard of Oz or the movie.
True.
They're kind of mixing it both, so I don't know. I thought it was the one thing that made me really confused was the fact that she didn't show up. The Elphaba didn't show up when Dorothy was there, so they didn't even like have that moment. I think that it can make sense narratively to say that the stuff in The Wizard of Oz is propaganda.
That's what I was wondering.
I can allow for that. However, this moment made me confused because it kind of takes away from The Wizard of Oz, because like you have to have the moment where the hero and the villain meet.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'll get you, my pretty.
Yeah. I thought, what I thought was I think this was intentional. You know how you were talking about they're going to have to explain why she stole the dog. Yeah. I think that that's propaganda because you remember they said that she stole the Cowardly Lion when he was a cub. I'm like, well, no wonder everyone thought she wanted to steal the dog.
Yeah. And kill the dog.
So that was interesting. And the Nessa Rose Bach scenes made me cringe so much. And I think it was intentional, but I was like, I don't want to sit through this again.
I know.
I can see myself skipping through that.
That was a little much.
The front, like, third of it, I was like, what is going on? And I like, they added 2 songs. So the songs that they added were No Place Like Home, the one that Elphaba sings, and then The Girl in the Bubble that Glinda sings. No Place Like Home was kind of a nothing song to me. The Girl in the Bubble I liked more. But
I swear I heard the Girl in the Bubble one before. Maybe I'm just having a...
No, that one was added.
Okay.
I think that one was more needed than the one that Elphaba sings is.
Yeah.
I think No Place Like Home is needed in these times that we're living in. But in terms of like narrative structure, I didn't necessarily need it. But the Girl in the Bubble, like I think they were trying to make Glinda more fully fleshed out and more of a sympathetic character, and I think that song really helped with that. So I liked that they added that. But
yeah, it gave me a new perspective on Glinda too, because a lot of things in the first one I'm like, I don't really buy her all of a sudden changing and like liking Elphaba or being a actual good person, and this movie did, like, because it started like, no, she's still kind of the same, but I way more bought her development by the end, which was nice. The costumes,
once again, blow it out of the park.
God, I'm dying, you guys. The wedding dress,
it was really pretty. I loved when you see her before and it's more of like a slip kind of, and then at the actual wedding they added it. Oh, I loved that.
She even puts like a pink thing over it for a second.
I was like, where'd she get that?
And it looks nice because the sparkles are out. And
yeah. So I think they also added Glinda to that scene. She wasn't in that scene originally.
I could kind of tell.
Yeah, especially when she runs in after. I'm like, oh.
I mean, it was nice. I liked when they were dancing together and
they were on the swing.
Like very gay.
It was very
that.
gay. So gay.
But I could kind of tell because she would like have lines all of a sudden. I'm like, this feels added in.
I will say, I think that this is just a problem with the musical in general. I feel like the front half of the musical is stacked with great songs. This one has like maybe 3. 2 definitely.
There were 2 that I'm
3.
like, I liked.
For Good is iconic, and it almost made me cry. But
I didn't really like that one.
Oh, well, you're gonna make a lot of people angry, Emily.
Sorry. But like compared to Defying Gravity.
For the final song. Yeah. I agree.
This one, because I heard people talking about, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be. But I was just kind of like,
it's. I like it as the ending because it's really touching. But
yeah, it makes sense.
It is not. I mean, As Long as You're Mine and No Good Deed are my favorite. Oh, they're the divas, and whereas with there's Popular, Defying Gravity,
Dancing Through Life,
The
Wizard and I,
and the first one, No One Mourns the Wicked. That one's great. So
yep.
they're all bangers, and then the second half is like a lot of reprises, and then a couple bangers.
Yeah, it was just kind of like,
so I think
okay.
that's what, and that was my main worry when they split it up, was I was like, the second half is not going to be, when you watch it all as one in a musical, it's not as big of a deal, but when, like, this is the whole movie, and you only have a couple bangers, it's like, it's not going to be as good as the first one. It's not bad, but it's just not as good.
Yeah. I was pleased with it. I really didn't think I was going to like any of this at all, so I'm very happy with it.
So yes, overall, I think Wicked season has come to a close, but I feel good about it.
Yeah. I'm just glad that we got to walk off in the sunset with Fiyero.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my dream from the beginning, so.
It's a good ending, yeah.
And it's satisfying that Glinda is the leader.
Yes.
Which I didn't think I would be satisfied
No, but you
with
are
that.
now, because she changed so much. She had great character development. She had the most character development out of anyone.
Yeah.
I think everyone had great character development, though.
I love the body horror aspects of this film.
I thought they were going to go more into it with the Scarecrow, and I was kind of disappointed that they didn't show it. But it makes sense, because it was supposed to be a reveal, so.
Yeah, I guess.
But I knew it already, so I was like, I want to see it.
I want it to be like, what's that? Not Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, where the guy turns into the scarecrow.
Yeah.
But that's what I was wondering when I heard about all of this. I'm like, that sounds like really horrifying.
Well, I think because it's based off of a book, which is very dark, so I'm sure it's worse in the book. Me too, because I'm into that kind of stuff. Yes. Everyone's like, don't read it if you like Wicked because it's so different. But I'm like, girl, I read Anne Rice on the daily. Yeah. I'm ready.
I mean, when they did the Tin Man, I was kind of like, this is a little intense. I like it.
That was pretty cool. Once that happened, I was like, okay.
I really thought he was going to slam the axe into her for a second. I'm like, dude, I'm kind of down. But obviously she has
Nessa
to be...
Rose was so freaking evil.
She is diabolical.
What is wrong with her?
She's the Wicked Witch.
She is? I think, well, that's the point.
Drop
Not even
drop
Glinda.
a million houses on her. Jesus.
I know when it happened, I was like, we're safe.
She was,
She, like... I guess it shows lots of unstable people are put in charge of
the government.
Communities. Yep. It's realistic. So,
anyway, pretty good.
I am continuing to watch Talamasca. The final episode came out today. I haven't had the chance to watch it yet. So I guess I'll talk about it more next episode. But I will say episode 4 is by far my favorite. It was quite the ride. The rest of the show was like, all right, it's good.
We did see the new Predator as well.
Oh my god, that's right.
Which people are either despising it or they are obsessed with it.
I feel so lukewarm about it. I don't really care.
Yeah, you kind of don't care about the franchise.
No,
so
I'm sorry.
I mean, for me, I love a lot of the Predator movies. And this one, I feel I was so happy with the beginning when we're going way into the lore of the Predators.
I was out. I was conked. I was like, this is dumb.
I was really loving it. I'm like, this is kind of what I wanted more of. Like, I want to see more of their home planet and their dynamics and everything. And then we get into the movie, and I thought it was entertaining. I liked that we followed a Predator as the main character. Mm-hmm. Someone who's like seen as a runt in his
that was cool.
His species. He's trying to prove himself. It did get a little too like Marvel for me, I have to say. And
with the big elongated finale.
Yeah, and the humor. I'm like, a lot of the times I'm watching, I'm like, in a Predator movie we're having
That's
this?
true.
Predator. Like, think Predator. Mm-hmm. You know, the original.
Yeah. This is not the vibe.
You can tell that Disney owns it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of times I'm like, yeah, it's not, that stuff wasn't for me. I liked the end when he uses the creatures of the planet to like help him take down all these robots because it's PG-13. They don't want to show.
Yeah, that was so funny. I was like, well, obviously everyone's gonna be a robot.
Yeah. I think overall it was definitely fun to see in the theater. I loved the lore expanding stuff, but you're leaning a little too far into Marvel for my taste. It needs to feel more Predator than Guardians of the Galaxy.
It definitely did not feel like a Predator movie to me. And I don't really know much about Predator movies, but it didn't feel like one.
No. This is Predator for kids.
Yeah, well, there was a child in the theater. And I was like, yes.
And, like, laughing and cheering at all of the parts. I'm like,
if I were a kid, I would... it would be a cool movie for me.
And it was very, like, you know, see it in IMAX, it was very cool, all that stuff, but it's not the worst Predator movie, but I definitely prefer the horror and craziness of the original. Even Predators, plural, which everyone hates. I think that movie is cool, but whatever.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's the one with Adrian Brody and Topher Grace.
Oh, I definitely have not seen that.
It's really interesting. It's like all these prisoners, they're like the worst of society. They all get dumped on this planet and the Predator is hunting them now. It's really interesting. I like it. Everyone hates it. But yeah, I was 50-50 on it, I'll say.
So a 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
We will see you for Stranger Things 3 and Stranger Things 4 in 2 weeks. And after that, the big grand finale. Ooh, I can't do it.
Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at We Just Want to Talk Movies, so you're always up to date on all our stuff. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And that's it for today's episode.
And we will catch you on the flick side, in the upside down